Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Radhika. Hare Krishna, Anand.
Hare Krishna.
Okay, we'll offer prayers. Om Agyana Tivirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha. Namo Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swamin Iti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Desha Tarine. Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Shri Shri Radha Govind Shriman Mahaprabhu ki Jai. Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki Jai. Sudarshan Chakra ki Jai. Narsingdev Bhagwan ki Jai. Okay, so last time we were discussing how Akrura visited, and because now Krishna won over Kamsa, and he sent Akrura to see whereabouts, to know about what is happening in Hastinapura. So Akrura comes and sees the situations, and he stays for quite some time. He is analyzing the situation, so that how means what is how Dhrtarashtra is impartial. Okay, so then we are continuing from there. Akrura could understand that Dhrtarashtra was set upon a course that would lead to his ruin. By favoring his own sons over the Pandavas, the king would ultimately ignite a conflict between them, which would result in the destruction of the Kuru race. So basically, if the elders don't allow, then Duryodhana have to keep quiet and accept, because Dhrtarashtra is the king. So whatever his desires are there, according to that, everyone is going to act. Bhishma, Vidura, Dronacharya, Kripacharya. So because he is had the desire that his sons have to become the king, his son has to become the king. So that is why all the problems are happening. Okay. Hare Krishna. So further, Akrura felt there was nothing more he could do. Dhrtarashtra refused to accept responsibility for his acts. So he's basically blaming that, okay, everything depends upon the Lord. Everything depends upon the destiny. So whatever I am doing fault, okay, it is because of destiny. Nothing is in my hands. But he is telling nothing is in my hands, but still he is not acting according to dharma. Taking his leave from the king, Akrura made his way back to Mathura. See, by all these things, we can have to understand how, okay, ultimately Lord sanctions, but we have to do our job. We have to do our seva. We have to do our duties. So when we do our duties properly, then when Lord is pleased, Krishna is pleased, then he will give the mercy so that we become successful. So what he is doing all the wrong things, and he is telling that now everything depends upon destiny. Okay, mere haath mein kuch bhi nahi, means in my hands nothing is there. Okay. When Akrura was gone, Dhrtarashtra pondered on his words. So he is thinking, it was true that Pandu's sons were the rightful heirs to the kingdom. So he is thinking, yeah, Pandu's sons, basically they have to be the king, become the king. That could not be denied. It was especially clear that the eldest of them, Yudhishtira, was qualified to be the king. That's what we have seen after the martial arts. And by Yudhishtira's qualities, everyone regarded him as the favorite person. The king had seen how the prince was noted for his honesty. Okay, he was very honest, truthful, patience. Patience means tolerating, the like for example now this because of corona the lockdown is there, so still one has to be have that patience, okay, the tolerance, so that he has to continue his duties and he has to wait for the result. Not that now, for example, if when you are cooking, you have to have that patience that with the time it is the things are going to get cooked. Like as children, we always think that now, oh, I am feeling hungry, I want the food immediately. But we knew that everything takes time. And if you take uncooked, then you will not get any taste. Okay. So with that patience, then you get a habit. Then kindness. So kindness, those who are suffering, for them there should be kindness should be there. Okay. So he's always kind. He's always thinking that now, what by what activities I can please my elders. Then unswerving adherence to duty. So he's never failing to do his duties. Okay. So what are our duties? So if we are students, our duties are to study. And if we are like whatever position we are in, we have to, okay, if one is a parent, one has to do the duties of a parent. If one is a mother, she has to nourish the family. So she should know cooking. She should know how to keep the house, everything in order. Okay. For example, if one is a father, he should know, okay, how to get the facility for the home. He should go out and earn money. Okay. So that is primary duty. So primary duty of a mother is to nourish the family by giving them proper food. So that is why. So in every species, if you see, mother nourishes the child, okay, or the family. Then father brings the facility. Recently, I was in Mayapur, so I was seeing the pigeons are there. So one pigeon was pregnant. So basically, when the she pigeon, she's going to, okay, lay the eggs. They make a what you say, with the sticks. They make a home. So the male pigeon is bringing the sticks, and the female pigeon is making the home. Okay, there was a kutir. In the kutir, they are making the home. And there was, okay, like my spiritual master is there. So he is telling. And when the male pigeon is bringing, sometimes he used to bring, like the male pigeon used to bring very hard sticks. So that time, the female pigeon it used to throw the hard sticks. Okay. So basically, the female pigeon requires soft twigs, like or soft sticks from the means small branches of some plants like that. Okay. So this psychology is same among all species. Okay. Along, so one has to do one's duty in spite of whatever difficulties one get. Along with his brothers, he was a firm favorite of the people. So he was the most favorite person among the people. Okay. Why he became the favorite? By his qualities and by his adherence to his duties. So nowadays, everyone thinks that now everyone wants to take shortcuts. Okay. How can I get everything within no time? Instant results we want. Like instant Maggie, instant okay, drinks, instant juices, okay, instant fruit juice. So everything we want to purchase. But no, but when you, like for example, if someone comes to your home and you feed them by yourself cooking for them, then what will happen? That gratitude will be there. Oh, you have endeavored so much, you have worked so much to please us, to feed us. But if you something buy it from the market and feed it, they may be happy that you are feeding, but that happiness which comes by, okay, personally cooking, personally serving, okay, personally serving the food for them. That happiness is way higher than the, okay, asking some maids to serve or some, okay, servers to serve instead of we serving the guest. Okay, so that's how doing personal service, okay, attracts the people, and that's how we can make, okay, we can have proper relationships with the guest. And if we have proper relationships, proper interactions, then there will be the happiness will be there, not by shortcuts. Okay, do you have any questions? You can ask me in between also. Okay, the citizens had loved Pandu, and it seemed to them that he returned to live among them as his sons. So Pandu's sons are Pandavas, so they are remembering Pandu Maharaj, okay, his father. Everywhere people were speaking of their desire to see Yudhishtira installed as the king. Dhrtarashtra had heard of their talks. Now we have a qualified prince. Why should the blind Dhrtarashtra remain king? Let us place the pious Yudhishtira on the throne. He will surely be a righteous and benevolent ruler. So everyone wants a young, okay, and very talented person to rule the country, not the old person, and especially the old person who is blind. So generally, like when you are old, you can become more wise. You can give the counseling thing. Okay, you can give advice. But in terms of action, okay, the young people can do more actions. Okay, more activities. So that is why when we are young, okay, our limbs are very active. Our senses are very active. Okay, then we can act very nicely. So as young as you are, as we are, we have to learn the skills, doing the activities practically. Then when we are old, okay, like 25 or 30, then we can be able to do. But if we are not learning when we are young, then it is very difficult for us to learn when we grow. Dhrtarashtra consulted with Bhishma, Vidura, and the Brahmins. So basically the elders, with elders they have to consult. They all decided that Yudhishtira should be installed as prince regent. So he has to be announced as the next king. The ceremony was soon performed and the people rejoiced. So the Dhrtarashtra performed a ceremony, a function, and wherein Yudhishtira Maharaj was announced is going to be the king, become the king after Dhrtarashtra. Duryodhana, however, was seething. Seething means basically he's becoming very angry, that expressions of angerness. How had his father bypassed him to make Yudhisthira prince regent? So he's feeling, see, he rejected me and he is making Yudhishthira Maharaj as the prince. When Bhima's need at his distress, okay, so Bhima is making fun of Duryodhana's distress, making it even more unbearable. He went with Karna and Dushasana to discuss with Shakuni a way to eradicate the Pandavas. So he went with Karna and Dushasana, okay, and because to discuss with Shakuni. Shakuni eyes narrowed as Duryodhana and the others vented their rage. Okay, so when they are becoming angry, Shakuni was bringing his eyes narrowed means bringing his eyes together, means eyebrows together. He pressed his fingertips together to think. Okay, so like that is why now you see in that serials also, Shakuni always doing like this. The only answer, he said finally, is to get the Pandavas out of Hastinapur to a place where they can be killed without interference. Okay, so basically he's telling, so take them to some place wherein we can kill over there. We should somehow contrive to have them burned to death, making it seem like an accident. So because they became the favorites of the kingdom, so if whatever they apply, they cannot apply any tricks to kill them. So take them away and do some plans and we can kill them. Duryodhana smiled, but Karna was not so sure. He did not like Shakuni's devious ways. Only cowards resort to deceit and underhanded methods. Okay, so coward means like only like lazy people, okay, who is not brave, they take the help of deceit. Powerful men favor open combat. So Karna is telling these things. If the Pandavas are our enemies, then let us march on out to the battlefield and settle this dispute. Shakunu's lips tightened. Then he smiled slightly. My child, you are powerful but foolish. So Shakuni is scolding Karna. It seems you have forgotten Bhima's superhuman strength. So he's telling, Shakuni is telling that how Bhima is having that superhuman strength. And do you not remember the incident at Kampilya? Okay, all of the Kaurava princes with you by their side could not overpower Drupada. So he's telling. So what happened, Kampilya? So earlier, okay, to bring Drupada, when Dronacharya asked, they went and to defeat Drupada and bring him arrested. So, but what happened? Duryodhana and his brothers and Karna, they are thoroughly defeated by Drupada. Whereas Pandavas, only 4 Pandavas, okay, excluding Yudhishtira Maharaj, 4 Pandavas go, they defeat, okay, and bring Drupada. But with only 4 fighting, the Pandavas were successful. It is unlikely that we will win in confrontation with those 5 brothers. Take heed of my words. So Shakuni is telling this. Reminded of Kampilya, Karna was embarrassed. Okay, so Karna was embarrassed remembering that incident. He let out an angry shout. They had been taken by surprise there. So he's telling, actually, we didn't properly estimated Drupada. So this is this. Drupada had been stronger than they expected. The Pandavas had the advantage confronting Drupada after having witnessed his actual power. So he is telling, actually Pandavas, they went second time, so they could estimate. So basically, instead of telling I am not so qualified, he is telling that he is giving reasons that why he was defeated. So like this, we can understand like how, okay, Karna was defeated, whereas Arjuna defeated Drupada. So by this comparison, you can understand like how Arjuna is more powerful than Karna. Next time, if the Pandavas confronted the Kauravas directly, things would be different. So this is what Karna telling. Karna shook his head and left the room. Do what you will, but I cannot be a party to such cowardice. Yes, he wants to be going for combat, but he never thinks that he never thinks about the past. So that is the problem with the ego. Okay, if one is having that false ego, ahankar, then he never remembers how he was failed in previous times. But with false ego, he always thinks, I am superior, I am great. The cunning Shakuni had carefully assessed the situation. He pressed Duryodhana to approach his father. So he is pressing, okay, go to your father and ask something. And ask for the Pandavas to be sent away. So because Dhrtarashtra is the king, he can do this activity. He knew that Dhrtarashtra would not refuse his son anything. Duryodhana nodded slowly. He trusted Shakuni's judgment. Together they worked out the details of their plan. Then Duryodhana went to see the king. Hare Krishna. You are getting any voice problem?
Yes, Prabhu ji, at times your voice मतलब चला जाता है आपका आवाज चला जाता है कभी-कभी बीच में.
Okay. Actually, like Dharma is going on, so that Mridanga voice is something like that. Music is coming, Mridanga or drum beat or kartal like that in the background.
Prabhuji, a drum beat, the Mridanga beats.
Oh, Mridanga beat. So is it song? Is it good or is it creating what you say? I should not use the word disturbance or some inconvenience in hearing. Are you feeling any inconvenience?
No, Prabhuji.
You can hear properly, no? Okay, fine. Because we are doing 2 things now. Okay, they are doing Dhartarashtra. Okay, so praying for the Lord and to offer the lamps to the Lord. So we can also hear. let those vibrations can come along with Mahabharata. So it is very auspicious. Okay, thank you. Thanks for tolerating. Is it clear till now? Hare Krishna. Dhrtarashtra knew well of his son's hatred for the Pandavas. So Duryodhana went to Dhrtarashtra. What is happening with Dhrtarashtra and Duryodhana we are discussing now. He knew that Yudhishtira's installation as the heir apparent had been a bitter blow to Duryodhana. The king thought about what he could do for his sons. He had spoken with Shakuni The king thought about what he could do for his sons. He had spoken with Shakuni, his brother-in-law, knowing that Dhrtarashtra never acted without counsel, had suggested that he seek advice from Shakuni's Brahmin friend Kanika. This Brahmin, Shakuni had said, was an expert in statecraft and politics. Shakuni then personally brought Kanika to see Dhrtarashtra. So basically, Shakuni is suggesting to the king that now better you take counsel from Kanika. So Kanika is a Brahmana, is a friend of Shakuni. So very good at politics. So generally his friend, obviously he will also very good at politics. So basically he knows that now Dhrtarashtra, because he is blind, he wants to always, a blind person always wants to take shelter of others. So when he is taking shelter of others, if we come in wrong association, we can take wrong suggestion. Okay. So that is why Shakuni is sending this Kanika, who is very expert in politics. So what this Kanika is going to tell to Dhrtarashtra, we'll see. Kanika told Dhrtarashtra that he should feel no compunction about rooting out his enemies before they harmed him. So basically, never take any back step, okay, in destroying the enemies. Okay, so whenever the enemy is there, immediately you have to kill him, okay, before they kill you. If he saw the Pandavas as his enemies, then he should destroy them without hesitation by any means possible. Because they were stronger than his own sons, a direct confrontation would probably fail. So he's telling because they are stronger than the Kauravas, so if you fight with them, definitely you will be defeated. Better to employ some devious means. So he's telling, take some devious means, hitting from the backside. In the meantime, the king should continue to appear as the Pandavas' well-wisher. And what you have to do, basically you should look like you are well-wisher of them and you strike them from behind. So this is the problem. Okay, if we are associating with wrong people, then we get wrong suggestions and we act based on those wrong suggestions. So that is why we always have to be careful whom we are associating with, what kind of people. Then as soon as an opportunity arose, he should strike. Dhrtarashtra thanked the Brahmin for his advice and dismissed him. He sat alone in his chambers for some time. The thought of killing Pandu's sons distressed him. Perhaps there was some way they could be removed from Hastinapura. While they were present, his own sons would never be happy. Okay. So he is one way, okay, he knows what is dharma. Another way he is attached to his sons. So both are like he is in dilemma. So which he should apply? Should he please his sons, or should we make Duryodhana the king, or should he please the Pandavas? Okay, because Pandu, after becoming king, he gave the kingdom to Dhrtarashtra and went to Himalayas. So that is why remembering Pandu is always distressful, because my brother, okay, gave me so much to me. He respected me. How can I cheat him? And another side, he is attached to Duryodhana and his other sons. Duryodhana complained constantly about his cousins. Now the monarchy was about to pass back to Pandu's line. Dhrtarashtra had enjoyed his opportunity to occupy Hastinapura's throne as the world emperor. Although the firstborn son and thus the first in line for the throne, he had thought his blindness had forever denied him the chance to be a king. So basically, Dhrtarashtra was the firstborn son and is the elder to Pandu. But because he is blind, his brother, younger brother Pandu became the king. And when Pandu became the king, so his line is going to continue. His son is going to become the king. And on top of that, Yudhishthira Maharaj is elder to even Duryodhana. Okay. So according to the law, according to the dharma, Yudhishthira Maharaj has to become the king. And we have seen how everyone in the kingdom, even Dronacharya, Kripacharya, Bhishma, Vidura, everyone thought Yudhishthira Maharaj to become the king. But in the years since Pandu's departure, he had become accustomed to holding the reins of power. It would not be easy to let go. So this is what happens now. Whenever one sits on the power, on that seat, he never wants to give it up. Do you see in politics or not? Hare Krishna. So do we see in the politics, like the person becomes the chief minister or prime minister, still he is becoming aged, they don't want to give it up. So that is how, if they are attached, instead of attachment to the duty, if they are attached to the position, they never want to give it up. As Dhrtarashtra sat in his darkened room, Duryodhana came to see him. He heard his son's heavy steps approaching and his sighs as he sat before him. Dhrtarashtra gently greeted the prince and asked what ailed him. I am hearing ill news of the kingdom, father, that his citizens are growing restless. They want you to soon hand over the throne to the Pandavas. Why should we have the blind king now that Yudhishthira is grown? Are the words they utter. So he is telling that how everyone wanted to see Yudhishthira as the king. They care not for you or for myself. Then Duryodhana stood up sharply and began to pace, his gold ornaments jangling. As he strode about, he punched his hand with his clenched fist. Soon we shall become dependent upon the Pandavas. They will be the kings, and after them their sons will inherit the throne. Thus our line will be plunged into misfortune. We shall become powerless and lose the honor we have long enjoyed. What could be more painful for us? I have been considering how to deliver us. Listen as I explain my idea. So Duryodhana is going to explain his idea. How can he become the king? And Duryodhana is telling now. Duryodhana first suggested the Pandavas be sent to a distant city. On the pretext of sending them on holiday, they could be sent to Varanavata, where a splendid festival honoring Shiva would soon be celebrated. So Varanavata is a place about 100 kilometers from Hastinapura. So there a festival is happening wherein Lord Shiva is going to be worshipped. Like you have festivals like Kumbh Mela, okay, like Pushkar, like that this festival was there, okay, wherein Lord Shiva was to be worshipped. So basically Duryodhana is telling, let us send them there. The town was noted for its attractions. The Pandavas should surely be pleased to visit it. Once they left Hastinapura, perhaps they would never return. So basically he is going to send them away from the kingdom. Dhrtarashtra immediately understood what was on his son's mind. How could he possibly agree? Pandu was always devoted to virtue. He said, he did not care for wealth. My pious brother was devoted to me. He gave me everything, including this wide and prosperous kingdom. How could I hurt his sons? Besides that consideration, said Dhrtarashtra, the people love the Pandavas. They would be angered if the Kurus sent them away. Perhaps they would rise up against their leaders and remove them by force. And certainly Bhishma and the other senior Kurus would favor the Pandavas. So two things are always going on his mind. what people will think, but what Duryodhana is thinking. Duryodhana was ready for this objection. Before sending the Pandavas away, the Kurus should try to win over the people by various means. By bestowing wealth and honors on them, they would gain their love and trust. Then in the Pandavas' absence, it would be possible for Duryodhana to become king. The prince went on, once my position is established in Hastinapura, Kunti and her sons could even return. Do not fear for their welfare. So basically he's telling, so before sending them away, what we'll do is, we'll give lot of wealth to people and we give them positions in the kingdom. Positions means like the minister position, like that, different positions. So by that we can win their love and trust. Okay. Then when Pandavas are sent, then in their absence, Duryodhana can become the king. Dhrtarashtra sat up and leaned toward his son. This very thought has been on mind, but I have not spoken it because it is a sinful thought. I am still doubtful. How do you propose that we deal with Bhishma, Vidura, Drona and Kripa? They love the Pandavas as if they were their own sons. Okay. So how he is going to convince Duryodhana? So now he is going to tell how he can convince all of them. Okay. So basically here is going to tell, Duryodhana is going to tell that now this first thing is Bhishma, since he has taken a vow that he will always support the king who is ruling the kingdom. So by that way, he can what do you say? By that way, he is whatever actions that Dhrtarashtra is going to take, he is going to support. And next, coming to Vidura. So because Vidura is not having any position, so he is the one person who is going to always maybe will not accept, but alone he cannot do anything. And regarding Dronacharya, he tells, because Ashwatthama is his friend. Basically, Ashwatthama is very close to Duryodhana. So he tells, because Ashwatthama is my friend and Dronacharya is attached to Ashwatthama. So because he is attached to Ashwatthama, he is not going to say anything no for our doings, for our sending the Pandavas to Varanavata. And coming to Kripacharya, and Kripacharya is the brother-in-law, because basically Kripi, his sister, is the wife of Dronacharya. So because of that relationship, so whatever Dronacharya says, Kripacharya also follows. Whatever Dronacharya's desire is there, the Kripacharya follows. So that's how we can convince everyone. So that's how he tells that Dhrtarashtra, somehow send them to Varanavata. So here, then if we had to send Varanavata in the kingdom, what Dhrtarashtra does, every day through his ministers, he tells the glories of that festival. He go on telling that greatness of that festival. So by hearing every day, so it is like he is advertising in the kingdom through his ministers. And when the Pandavas used to, every day they used to hear about this place. So they developed some desire. And when they developed the desire, he could sense it through his ministers. The Dhrtarashtra sensed that Pandavas, they are willing to go to Varanavata. So that time what he does is, he calls the Pandavas and tells them, okay, I heard through the ministers that there is a festival going on, okay, on behalf of Lord Shiva. So why can't you go to that place and have some time over there, spend some time over there and distribute wealth to the people over there. So generally whenever festivals happen, then the kings, they go to those places and do some charitable activities. So then because this is Dhrtarashtra's wish, so Yudhishtira Maharaj understood. See, if he wants to send us, why can't he send, if that is the great festival, why he is not sending the Duryodhana and his party, his brothers? So he has that doubt. But still, as a respect to the king, to his father, okay, So he accepts that proposal. He says, okay, if you wish, we can go. We'll go there. So then, by the instruction of Dhrtarashtra, all the Pandavas, they start moving. They take some time, and they are going to move to Varanavata. In the meantime, Duryodhana calls one of his friend. His name is Purochana. So this Purochana is very good at building the means especially he is like an engineer in constructing the buildings. So he calls him and he tells that now see whatever wealth I have, Duryodhana is telling, whatever wealth I have and whatever fame I have, it is because you are my friend, it belongs to both to us. So but what you have to do now, Pandavas are becoming for me an obstruction for my becoming king. So you have to help me. What you do is go to this Varanavata place and construct a palace, construct a mansion. Mansion means multi-storied building. Like you have apartments now like that. Very huge mansion you construct for Pandavas. And in the construction, use the materials which are flammable, means which can be easily ignited by fire. So use lot of ghee, use lot of lac. Lac means flammable material basically. Okay, like the coal tar like that. So it has use that lot of oils and construct the building like that. And on top of that, you paint with some chemicals by which they can't recognize the smell of this ghee and lac like that. And in different places, you also leave some ghee and oil like that, so that after some time, when they are situated properly, and when no one doubts us, you can put the home to fire. So saying like this, okay, he inspires this Purochana to go and build the home for Pandavas. So he goes to Varanavata, okay, that place, and he starts building the home for Pandavas. So he goes ahead. Because they are the kings, they can construct in no time. Okay. They construct in the outskirts. So one may think that because if they are constructing, does other villages of Varnavata, can they don't know that this is what happening? Okay. So how he is going to manage?
They are building on the outskirts.
They are building on the outskirts. And one more thing, like they can totally surround, and very secretly he can bring these materials in the night time or like that. You're getting the point? So that no one can recognize. He can hide it and bring it. Okay. And the people, whoever are workers, they may be only placed over there. They can be given high salaries like that. So that it can be kept, everything can be kept secretly. So after some time, when the time comes for the Pandavas to leave for the festival, so the festival goes for some months. Okay, like Kumbh Mela also, it goes for 1-2 months like that. So after many days, like when the festival is about to start, then the Pandavas are started leaving. So when they are started leaving, all the Dhrtarashtra, by that time, he makes some rapport with the people by giving lot of wealth and positions in the kingdom like that. But in spite of that one, the Brahmanas could understand this is a plot by Dhrtarashtra to send away the Pandavas. So when they understand, when the Pandavas, they are leaving, first what they do, they take the blessings from Bhishma, Kripacharya, Dronacharya, and Dhrtarashtra, and Gandhari. They take blessings from everyone. And even while taking blessings, they surround around Gandhari. So one may think, okay, so why is taking those blessings? And he asks, Yudhishtira Maharaj asks, so what he asks is to these elders that wherever I am present, let I continue my duties properly. Okay, I do my duties properly and I always please the Lord. Please the Lord means please Lord Krishna by doing my duties properly. So one may have a question. So he knows that Dhrtarashtra is doing wrong. Still, why he is taking those blessings? Generally, if we know the truth, what we do? In our place, what we do and why that Yudhishtira Maharaj is doing like that? The two questions are there. Yes, who wants to answer?
Because the Dharmaraj follows Dharma, and if he tells the truth in front of all people, the dignity of the Dhritarashtra will be hurt.
Very good. So what we have to do if it happens for us? What Yudhishthira Maharaj is teaching us the lesson. What lesson he is teaching us?
We must not hurt others.
We must not hurt others. Yes. And one more thing is taking blessings. By that blessings, what lesson he is teaching us? Others are there. Anant is there.
Yes, Prabhuji.
What lesson Yudhishthira Maharaj is teaching us by his taking blessings from the elders? Okay. So basically, okay. So he is doing his duty and he is always taking blessings. So by taking those blessings, because we are doing our duties properly, so when Dronacharya, Bhishma, Kripa, they bless him, so those blessings, okay, those blessings will enact on him. Okay, that by that his piety is going to increase. His devotional piety going to increase. So they are going to, because this Bhishma, Drona and Kripacharya, they are dharmic. So when they bless him, that you always follow your duty. Then what will happen? By performing his duties, he can be always protected. So he depends upon performing his duties. And when he seeks those blessings, by these blessings, he is going to be always protected. So that is why after the Mahabharat war, when Bhishma was on the deathbed, so he was asked, okay, let me show that shloka, that will be better. Yes, you are able to see
Yes, Prabhuji.
what he is telling. Bhishma is telling, Aho kashtam, aho nyayam, yad yoyam dharmanandana, jivitam nar harta klishtam, vipra dharmachuta ashraya. So Bhishma Dev said, someone can read? Hare Krishna.
Can I
Someone
read
can read the
Prabhuji?
translation. Yes, you can read.
Oh, what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustices you good souls offer for being the sons of regent personified. You did not deserve to remain alive under those tribulations, yet you were protected by the
Brahmanas. Hare Krishna. Brahmanas, God and religion. Okay. So what he is telling here, Bhishma Dev is telling to Pandavas. So when he is on the deathbed, they go and meet. Yudhishthira Maharaj goes and meets. There he is telling. Okay, this comes in Srimad Bhagavatam. So what terrible sufferings and what terrible injustice you good souls suffer for being the sons of religion personified. So you are Dharmanandana, means Okay, like basically Yudhishtira Maharaj is the son of Yamaraj. Yamaraj is called Dharmaraj. That's all. So being the sons of, even though they are the sons of Pandu and sons of these demigods, still they suffered so much. But how they lived? Because they were protected by Brahmanas, God and religion. So God means Achyuta. Who is Achyuta? Hare Krishna.
Lord Vishnu.
Lord Vishnu. Okay. So Lord Krishna, Lord Vishnu is Achyuta. Achyuta means one who never gives up his duty of serving his devotees. Okay. In Bhagavad Gita also this word comes. Okay. When Arjuna tells to take the chariot in between two armies, then he uses this word Achyuta. Okay. Then religion. So because they are following the dharma that religion is protecting. Like last time I told, na, dharmo rakshati rakshita. If we protect the dharma, dharma protects us. So the Pandavas are always protecting the dharma, dharma protected them. So now why people in Kali Yuga are suffering? Why they are suffering? Hare Krishna. Because people are not following the dharma properly. That is why so much sufferings are there. Okay. So here, what is happening is taking the blessings and is moving ahead. So while moving ahead, then all the citizens, they come and tell, say this Dhrtarashtra is not a pious king. Okay, he is sending you. So we'll also follow you to the place. We'll leave the kingdom. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj tells, say, Yudhishthira is our father. So we have to obey his order. And he is sending us to go there. So if you have any respect for me and the Pandavas and Kunti Maharani, please go and continue your service to Dhrtarashtra. Because if you don't obey him, okay, then it is disobedience to us. So he requests all the citizens to go back. Similarly, when Ram was going, so all the citizens also want to follow him. But Lord Ram tells, please go. Okay, don't come with me. So that is what. So Lord and his devotees, okay, is pure devotees. Okay, how Lord does the actions, similarly his devotees also do the same actions. So like Lord went to Vanavas, still he never gave up his duty of obeying his father. Similarly, Yudhishthira Maharaj, since his father is not there, the king is the father for all citizens. And for him already he is a father-like. His father's elder brother, like father. So he's telling that please follow him. So after telling them, okay, and he started moving. There in the outskirts of the village, okay, when Vidura comes and meets them, and there are some people, and in Mlecha Bhasha, basically Mlecha Bhasha means the language of meat eaters. So there it tells in secret language that is called English or the Western language. So the kings earlier, they know all these languages. So he tells that now 3 instructions he gives. So if a person, whenever he is going to enter a room or a place, and he knows that the room is filled with a lot of sharp instruments which are going to pierce the body. So if one knows, before entering only one knows there are lot of, okay, thorns or piercing elements are there, or instruments are there, or machines are there, then he can be very careful. He can very carefully, with lot of caution, okay, he can move. You are getting, like for example, if you are handling some knife, okay, some mixie or something wherein sharp blades are there, so you know it is sharp. So when you are taking out something from the mixie, so you are not going to, okay, go and very haphazardly you remove the things. You are very careful because it may cut your fingers. You are very careful. So he tells this first instruction. Second thing it tells, whenever there is a fire, okay, in the forest, so the living beings which are under the ground, they never get affected. Okay, like if someone is in the tunnel and if there is a fire, so because earth is not going to catch the fire, okay, under the earth you can be safe. So it tells if there is a forest fire, if you are under the earth, you can be safe. And third thing it tells, a person who has control on his senses, he can conquer the world. Okay, so it's called, generally in Sanskrit is called Goswami. For them he is called as Maharaja. Like sannyasis, they are called as Maharaj. Okay, Maharaj means, so one Maharaj is who is ruling whole world, and another Maharaj is, or Goswami is called. Go means the senses. Go means also cow. Go means the senses. One who has control on the senses, on the 6 senses. Okay, means what are the 6 senses? Eyes, nose, tongue, ears. What is the 5th sense?
Skin.
Touch, yes, skin. Okay, we want to hold soft objects. We want to hear beautiful things through eyes. We want to smell nice things through nose. We want to taste, okay, very palatable things through tongue. And we want to hear all the news with ears. But if these, similarly, we want to touch soft objects. And the 6th sense is the mind. So mind is always like when we are studying, mind goes all the places. So if one has control on the 6 senses, okay, superseded by mind, mind is the pivot. Okay, so if one has control on the 6 senses, one can conquer the world. It does this thing. Yes, do we get disturbance from these senses or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay, so that is why, so Shastras tell how we can control the 6 senses. If we see the Lord's form through our eyes, we means we always take darshan of Lord. By that, our eyes become purified. And if we take the smell of the flowers which are offered to the Lord, that is why whenever you go to temples, okay, so they give flowers, flower garlands like that. So if we wear that and we take the smell of that, then our nose is controlled. And if we take prasad, prasad means the food offered to Lord and taken after that. So Krishna prasad offered to Lord Vishnu or Lord Krishna. Then by taking that prasad, one's tongue is purified. And if we hear the scriptures and Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, then our ears are purified. And with hands, with the skin, basically Prabhujis, they have to, okay, embrace Prabhujis. Okay, Alingan, you say, no? Like whenever, like in families also, whenever you meet your grandparents, okay, generally you embrace them. So by embracing devotees, basically Prabhuji is embracing Prabhuji's, Mataji is embracing Mataji's. So by that, the touch, okay, the attachment to touch goes away. Then mind, by always thinking about the Lord and his leelas, our mind is controlled. Okay. Similarly, it is called mantra. Mantra means that, okay, voice, that words which delivers the mind. Manastrayate iti mantra. Okay. Similarly, mandir. So the place wherein our mind becomes peaceful. Happens or not? If you go to mandir, your mind becomes peaceful or not?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. So that is why temples are there. Okay. So mandir, mantra. So these things are there. So among all the mantras, Hare Krishna mantra is called as Maha Mantra. So for this Kali Yuga, so by chanting that mantra, we can control the mind. Otherwise, we are always disturbed. When we hold the book, we think that to see some video. When we are seeing the video, we think that we have to eat something. While we are eating, we think that what we have to do after this. So all the time, mind is taking different places. How can I get enjoyment? But it is told there is no such enjoyment in this world. And the enjoyment only comes when we do things according to the laws of Krishna. And okay, that is called dharma. And that dharma has to be performed to please Krishna. So if I do this activity, Krishna will be pleased. Like Yudhishtira Maharaj, he is doing all these things. So he knows the Shastra. He knows that if I do like this, Krishna will be pleased. Then doing activities, the dharmic activities to please Krishna, if we do like that, then we will become happy. Then a person becomes satisfied. So how these great souls, Yudhishthira Maharaj or great souls like this, how they are peaceful and happy, like we are seeing, like some few months, maybe 8 months like that, we are quarantined. We are so much disturbed now. Not quarantine, lockdown, or some people are quarantined also. So we are so much unhappy or so much distressed. But they are going for vanvas for 13 years and 1 year Ajnatavas. 1 year, no one should recognize them. So 14 years, they are the emperors. He became the emperor of the world, and after that he has to go to forest. So because he has that control on the senses. How he could achieve? Because by knowing the Shastras and by always remembering Krishna. Hare Krishna. Any questions? Otherwise, we'll go further. What is going to happen?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So Vidura told 3 things. What are the 3 things? One devotee can tell one thing. Any of the 3 things one can tell. First, who is going to say? That mixie example I told you. No? You didn't remember not even one thing?
When a person knows if in a room there are some piercing instruments, then he will be very careful in entering the room. And while there is a forest fire, if someone is in a tunnel, they won't get any feel of the forest fire because earth does not catch fire.
Yes. The third thing?
Third thing, one should have control on all his senses.
Then he can rule. Means he can become the ruler because he is a Kshatriya. He is telling if you have control on the senses, you can rule whole world. You can become the emperor because he is a Kshatriya. For Brahmanas, they can become sannyasi. They can become guru. You are getting the point? So who becomes guru? Who has control on the 6 senses. They become the spiritual master. Yes. So further, so after this, after taking instructions from Vidura, so Vidura is talking in that Mlecha language, that secret language. So after hearing everything, then Yudhishthira moves. Yudhishthira alone understands this. So that is why these kings have special quality. They know many languages. Okay. Like you heard about P.B. Narasimha Rao. One minister was there. He was for some time he was the prime minister. He knows 17 languages. He is from South India only. So there are many people, like especially when you are in this administration, so you should know many languages so that you can understand what others are telling. You have to interact with other people. If you know more languages, you can know more about other cultures, what they are speaking. Okay. Sometimes by expressions we may not understand. Okay. But if we know the language, we can understand what is the culture of others. Okay. So, like the same way, if you speak in Like for example, if I am from South, if I speak in, if I am meeting a North Indian, if I speak with them in Hindi, they will feel very comfortable. Okay, so they will know, oh, you are you know our language. Okay, like that. I have seen, like in Bengal, when I speak little small words here and there in Bengali, immediately the people here become very happy. Oh, you know our culture, you know our language, like that. If someone North Indian comes and speaks some South Indian language, in Telugu they speak, what you feel? Oh, you know our language? So means you love us, you like us. Okay. So the kings, the administrators, they know more languages. So after this, after meeting Vidura, then they go to Varanavata. Okay. So after going to Varanavata, first thing is over there they meet with the people. First they meet the Brahmanas. Okay. They give a lot of charity after going there because they are the kings. So what you expect, like whenever a big person is coming, generally people expect that he comes and gives some gifts to the people, to the normal citizens. So being the kings, when they go to any new place, because the festival is happening. So in the festival, like whenever there is this Ganesh Chaturthi festival or this Durga Puja festivals, like that, whenever it happens, what people, when they go to those places where the deities, okay, Ganesh is worshipped or Lord Shiva is worshipped, Durga is worshipped or Lord Shiva is worshipped, like when you go to Tirupati. So what you see, okay, people are distributing food or distributing some clothes, like that. Okay. So by that, people will become very inspired to go there. And by distributing that, okay, by inspiring people to come to the holy place, you are getting lot of pious, lot of punya. So they distributed over there. After distributing, they meet with Brahmanas. They stay with them for some time. After that, they meet the administrators, the Kshatriyas over there, and they meet the Vaishyas, the business class people, and at the end, the worker class, that is Shudras. Okay, they meet everyone. Like that, they spend about 10 days like that, with meeting with all the kinds of people. So who all went? The 5 Pandavas along with Kunti. And then this Purochana goes, by the time Purochana builds the home, and he calls the building as the blessed dwelling. Dwelling means where you live. So it is blessed living place. Okay. So he was taken to that place, and when he goes, Yudhishtira Maharaj goes to that place, he tells to Bhima. Okay, Bhima, can you smell? Okay, can you smell the ghee? Can you smell the, okay, all the flammable materials? Then it tells yes. Then it tells, actually this home is made up of all flammable materials, and this Purochana is appointed by Duryodhana. Okay, basically he want to kill us by burning us here, over here. Then it tells, how come you know that? Then it tells actually to Kunti and Bhima that what all Vidura told to him. Then Bhima tells, see, because when you have so much power and when you know that someone is cheating you, what you want to do? You have a lot of energy and power. You want to, someone is cheating you. So you want to just argue with him. Basically, you want to go and give a slap to him. So Bhima tells, Arey, if you know everything, come on, okay, just order me, I'll go and okay, defeat all the Kauravas. Duryodhana along with all his brothers, I'll just smash them. Okay, because they are going, already 2 times he thought of killing Bhima. Duryodhana thought of killing Bhima, and Bhima has now 10,000 elephant strength. Then Yudhishthira Maharaj consoles him that now, see, basically now Dhrtarashtra is the king and everyone is supporting him. So we are alone, we are only 5. So we can't fight with them because they have so many allies, so many people are together. So that is why now we have to, till the time we don't get power, we have to get quiet. So you see now in politics also, someone is in the position of minister, so he influences people so much. So with power you can control the people. You getting? So Dhrtarashtra is in power, he can control everyone. So after telling this, then he was consoling Bhima, similarly Arjuna and Nakula and Sahadev. So they stay over there. So they stay over there, and Vidura also tells, while you are alone, you go to forest and find out the way how you can escape. So after that, so in the daytime, they used to, while they were discussing all these things, one person comes after some time. So saying that a miner comes, basically, one who digs the tunnel. And it tells that I'm a miner, I was sent by Vidura. Then Yudhishtira thinks, is he another spy of Duryodhana? Okay. So spy means Guptachar. Okay. One who is appointed secretly. Okay. Is he again another person appointed by Duryodhana so that he can estimate, are we doubting him or not? So then Yudhishthira Maharaj was doubting that miner. Then the miner tells, Vidura told me these three things. The three things which he told to Yudhishthira Maharaj regarding those spears, regarding the tunnel, the fire in the tunnel, and the control of senses. Then when he tells that in the Mlecha language, these things, three things, he told me to tell you, then the Yudhishthira Maharaj believes him. Then this miner stays with them. So it is a huge palace. Okay. So outside of the gate, Purochana has his place where he, outside the door, he has his own place, like a security guard. And these persons are coming because they are the kings. Many people used to come and meet. So Purochana thinks he might be some resident of this Varanavata. So he comes and introduces them, and he starts, after some time, he starts digging the tunnel from in between, from the middle of the home. Okay? Because if it is on the corner side, if any servants are appointed or Purochana comes into the home, he may detect. Okay, so generally these palaces, they are covered with lot of rugs and mats. So if it is in between and it is covered by a plank, on that if you keep a rug, no one can understand, or you keep some sofa or something like that in the middle of the palace. Okay. So from there it digs a tunnel about, okay, and takes to a long distance. So they spend quite few months, and the day comes, they decide that okay, in 1-2 days we have to burn this. Because by that time, Purochana was thinking they are totally convinced. Okay, means they became like very peaceful over that place. So Purochana is planning that he want to think that when they are totally convinced, that time to put fire. And like Yudhishthira Maharaj and the Pandavas, they are also showing that as if they are not at all doubtful on Purochana, and they are doing the tunnel. Because if he becomes doubtful, and Duryodhana can employ any other means to kill them. Then one day what they decide is, next day we have to distribute lot of charity to the people, feed them nicely, and in the night time we will put fire to the home. Okay, so whole day they started distributing lot of gifts. So obviously, since Purochana is assisting them, he might be also assisting them in distributing the gifts. So after whole day's distribution, in the night time, what happens? One tribal woman comes along with his 5 sons. So after taking their food and everything, okay, because they are tribal people, they had some wine or something. So they become unconscious and they started sleeping in the palace itself, in one corner of the palace. Because palace means it is very huge. If you have gone to Jaipur city palace, you can understand. That is like some hundreds of years before. So you can understand, like, okay, 5,000 years before, if Pandavas had a palace, how huge it will be. So later they had a palace. Okay, like in between their palace there is a pond, and the pond size is like 3 kilometers by 3 kilometers. You are understanding? So in between their home there is a pond. What is the size of the pond? Okay, 3 kilometers length, 3 kilometer width, like that. So wherein all the birds used to come over there, swans and all those things. Okay, so such a huge, so their palace should be more than 3 kilometers length and 3 kilometers width. So you can understand how huge it will be. Okay, if they are constructing for these kings. So they stay in some corner and they didn't understand, like Kunti Maharani and Pandavas didn't know. And all the servants in the evening, they go away, they start to wake them up, but they are totally unconscious. They are, okay, means with that, taking that wine and overeating, they sleep over there. Then in the night time, so when Purochana was also totally exhausted, maybe by helping them. So Yudhishtira tells Bhima to go and lit the fire at the door gate. And all the Pandavas, through the middle of the tunnel, they leave from there along with Bhima. Okay, so Purochana along with, okay, this tribal woman and all the five, all 6 of them, okay, in the night fire, everyone gets perished to ashes. So all the citizens, when they hear the sounds of the fire, they come and see, they understand. This is the work of this Duryodhana and his brothers. So they started, just they are observing what to do, because totally it was in fire. Then when in the morning when they go and see, they see Purochana and this tribal woman and the 5 children dead. And this miner also goes, somehow he closes the tunnel. Okay, so from the tunnel, okay, they go a bit far distance, some kilometers ahead, and they come out. From there, they start moving to different places. So recently, I was trying to see, is there this place, means I want to find out, like I was Lakshagriha, what is the meaning of Lakshagriha in Telugu, I was finding out. So therein I found out a interesting this thing. The researchers, basically the Indian government, they excavated this place, this tunnel. So this tunnel is there now also in this place called as Barnava in UP. So I'm going to show that video now. You want to see?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay. Is it, you are able to see now?
इंडिया टीवी आपके साथ मैं हूं मीनाक्षी जोशी। स्पेशल रिपोर्ट की तरफ आगे बढ़े, जिसे
Hare Krishna.
Yes, Prabhuji, we can see and
You are
hear.
able to see and hear? Okay.
5000 साल बाद तलाशा जा रहा है उस महल की हम बात करें। दिल्ली के पास 5000 साल पुरानी उस महल के सबूत कहाँ मिले हैं? कहा जा रहा है कि ये महल जमीन में दफन है। जमीन में दफन उस महल की तलाश के लिए दिल्ली में एएसआई की टीम बागपत जाएगी, जहां महाभारत के समय में महल लाक्षागृह की खोज की जाएगी। बागपत के लाक्षागृह होने के सबूत 2 सुरंगों से मिले हैं। ये 2 सुरंग जहां बनी है, कहा जा रहा है कि उसके पास ही जमीन दफन है पांडवों का महल लाक्षागृह।
दिल्ली से 90 किलोमीटर दूर बागपत में पांडवों के महल लाक्षागृह होने के सबूत मिले। बागपत के बरनावा गांव में हो सकता है 5000 साल पुराना पांडवों का लाक्षागृह। इतिहासकारों के मुताबिक बागपत के बरनावा में ही वो जगह हो सकती है जहां लाक्षागृह मौजूद था। महाभारत में पांडवों को जान से मारने के लिए कौरवों ने जो लाक्षागृह बनवाया था, उसकी तलाश लगता है पूरी हो गई। हम इस समय मौजूद है बागपत जिले के बरनावा गांव में, जो कि महाभारत काल में जिसे वार्णव्रत के नाम से जाना जाता था। कौरवों से जब पांडवों ने 5 गांव मांगे थे, उसमें एक वार्णवत गांव है जिसको इस समय बरनावा बुलाया जाता है। ठीक अपनी दाहिनी ओर अगर आपको दिखाएं तो ये सुरंग है, और यहाँ पर एक नहीं 2 सुरंगें हैं, जो कि ठीक अपने आमने सामने आप देख सकते हैं। ये 2 सुरंगें हैं। बागपत के बरनावा में लाक्षागृह होने के सबूत इन 2 सुरंगों से मिलते हैं। बरनावा के इस खंडहर इलाके में ये 2 सुरंग आमने सामने बनी हुई हैं। किसी ने सुरंग को पूरा पार तो नहीं किया, लेकिन स्थानीय लोग कहते हैं ये सुरंग लाक्षागृह से निकलकर हिंडन नदी तक पहुंचती है। इतिहासकारों के मुताबिक पांडवों ने लाक्षागृह के नीचे खुफिया तरीके से इन 2 सुरंगों का निर्माण करवाया था। पांडवों ने क्यों गुपचुप तरीके से इन सुरंगों का निर्माण करवाया, इसकी बड़ी वजह थी, वो भी आपको बताएंगे। लेकिन उससे पहले बता दें, स्थानीय लोगों के मुताबिक ये सुरंग 3 से 4 किलोमीटर लंबी है। सुरंग में कई तीव्र मोड़ हैं। जैसे जैसे सुरंग में घुसते हैं, आगे का रास्ता दिखाई देता है। इंडिया टीवी रिपोर्टर सौरभ श्रीवास्तव ने भी सुरंग के अंदर घुसकर इस सुरंग का राज जानने की कोशिश की।
Hare Krishna. So you could say that some government people just started.
ये गुफा यही हम देख पा रहे हैं, और
Hare Krishna. So that was the place, like still now it is existing. So this is some 2017 video I'm going to share in the WhatsApp group. Okay. So one more, just let me show you the picture. Hare Krishna. This is basically from Mahabharat book. Okay, this is the photo. So when they moved from, it is like they are telling now in the news that it is, that tunnel is about 3 to 4 kilometers, and that is leading to some river. So when they come out, so here Bhima is there, he is holding Nakul and Sahadev, and Yudhishtira Maharaj, Arjuna and Kunti Maharani, they are coming out. Okay, with the torch in their hands, they come out. So whole palace was burnt to ashes. Right? So after getting this news, when they get the news about this to Dhrtarashtra and other people, so Dhrtarashtra acts as if, okay, he didn't know anything, and he cries. They go to Ganga, to the river, and they offer the tarpana, the final rites. It's offering water to the departed souls. So he acts in such a way that as if he knew everything, doesn't know anything, and he cries in front of all people, saying that, earlier I lost my brother Pandu, now I lost, okay, his representatives. Okay, they are like Pandu for me. Okay, and he has to become the king, and now we lost them. So what to do? Then all the people, they understand that this is the plot of Dhrtarashtra and his sons. But as usual, whoever has power, they rule. They rule. So people couldn't say anything. So Bhishma and Dronacharya and Kripacharya, they also feel very bad about the situation. And as they are also, because they have their vows or their duties. They are doing their duties. Because of his vow, he couldn't say anything. And Vidura knew everything, that they might have escaped. And he was not showing any sign of that, depression or happiness. And he doesn't tell to anything to Bhishma. Okay. So what has happened after moving from that tunnel? So where they go, what happens, we'll discuss in the next class. So in today's class, any questions?
No, Prabhuji.
Okay. So we'll offer prayers to Prabhupada once again. We'll stop here. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Jai.
Panchatattva Bhagwan ki jai.
Jai.
Shri Shri Radha Govind Sriman Mahaprabhu ki jai.
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 Jagannath Baldev Subhadra Maiya ki jai.
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 Darshan Chakra ki jai.
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 Dev Bhagwan ki jai.
Jai.
Thank you. Thanks for coming. We will continue next week. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Sri Anandachala Prabhu ki jai.